Sunday, November 7th, 2021, and an expression of Katanyu Katawedi for anybody who was here last night for the Saturday night talk, the teachings from Luang Liam were read out to commemorate his 80th birthday, and also some of the lovely reflections given by Luang Pasanno and Tanajan Amaro about Luang Liam. The expression of Katanyu Katawedi, and really with this type of a limited katina, doing it over multiple days, taking a difficult situation, taking our pandemic situation, everything that goes along with it, taking a difficult situation and actually, rather than seeing it as a burden, seeing it as a worthy opponent, where it helps us to increase our intelligence and our wisdom, helps us to sharpen and hone our panya, barami, our intelligence and our wisdom. The way this is going to pan out is at the beginning, we're going to pay respects to the Triple Gem together. There's going to be after that, there'll be a request for the Five Precepts, giving of the determination of the Five Precepts. We'll do our Paritta Chanting. Then there will be the story of the origin story of Kathina being read out, and then finally the formal Kathina Offering with the two receiver monks coming into the center. Kathina Anumodana. Then we'll be able to start our sewing. There will be a break after that. After the break, there will be Dhamma talks. We'll be inviting Luang Pasanno and Tanajan Amaro to give Dhamma talks, and we'll use our Dhamma seat. I'm really happy we get to use our Dhamma seat and have our home cultivated California Bodhi tree gracing the hall with the rag monkeys attached to it, or ducks, however you want to view them, perceive them. Our esteemed guest, Tanajan Amaro, visiting from Amaravati Buddhist Monastery. And it's been 3 years, so it's been quite wonderful to be able to reconnect and have Ajahn Amaro here. Very good for me as well, having my two Kruba Ajahns, my teachers, here to support, and just feels like very much I was thinking of this as like a reunion tour, like we come back together. It's just like the old days, and have the two seats with the Buddha in the middle there. And once we all come together, probably in a few more minutes, looks like we're just missing a few. And I'm really glad to see that the campfire is also being used extensively. It gives a nice ambiance, and it's been quite cold, so it can add a little bit of warmth to our day. Okay, looks like everybody's here, so actually I would invite Luang Pasanno to light the candles and lead us in the paying homage to the Triple Gem.
Supatipanno yassa bhagavato savaka sangho Dhammayang bhagavantang sadhammang sasangham Emehi sakarehi yataraham aropite iyapipujayama Sadhu no bande bhagava suchira parini buddhopi Pachima janatanu kampa manasa Ime sakare dugatapana Karabuddhe patiganhatu Amhakam Gikaratang Hitaya Sukhaya Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Toakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami Annayang Buddhasa Bhagavato Pupapakanamakarang Karomase Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa
So we can invite the five precept request at this time. I'll invite Luang to give the five precepts.
Okay, so we can take the opportunity to determine or to recollect the three refuges, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and the five precepts. And these are really the foundation for a Buddhist a Buddhist life. If we're thinking in terms of, what is an exemplary Buddhist, doesn't necessarily mean that one is a crack meditator or one is a somebody who is making extravagant offerings here and there, or going to do pilgrimages and whatnot. Foundation is really returning to the fundamental basis of one's life is kind of geared to, how do I establish in my heart the Buddha as a refuge, the Dhamma as a refuge, Sangha as a refuge? How do I live in a way that is not harming others, not taking advantage of others, not creating suffering and difficulty for others, and in that way also establishing a sense of kind of happiness of living a life of integrity. So just to put that, because oftentimes, especially in big ceremonies like Kathina, I've lived in Thailand for many years, and sometimes these big ceremonies, refuges and precepts are just people rattle them off and nobody thinks about them because it's so used to it. But it's really important to recognize that we have this opportunity to establish a foundation in our hearts that really gives us the opportunity to live a meaningful and skillful life. So, Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Te sarana kamanaṃ nititaṃ. ปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปัญญังสมาธิยามิหาดินนาดานาเวรมณีสิกขาปัญญังสมาธิยามิกาเมสุมิชาชาลาเวรมณีสิกขาปัญญังสมาธิยามิโมสาวาดาเวรมณีสิกขาปัญญังสมาธิยามิสุราเมรยามาจาปมาดัฏฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปัญญังสมาธิยามิเอมานิปัญจสิกขาปัญญานิสีเลนะสุขติยันติสีเลนะโภคสัมปดาสีเลนะนิพพุติยันติตัสมาสีลังวิโสทะเย
And having taken the 5 precepts, we'll move on with the Paritta Chanting request. And invite Ajahn Dhamma to call the due.
ฆังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิโอชาคุมาโมอะมะลาปะกาโตสัมมังวะพุทโธสุขโตวิมุตโตมาราสภาสะเวนิโมชยันโตภาเวสิเกมังจนตังเวนะยังบุตังวรันตังศิรสานามามิโลกาสนาทันจะเวนะยกังจะทันเตจะสาเตจยสิริโหตุสาบันดรายาจะเวนะสเมนตุธัมโมดะโจโยวิยทัสสะสะตุทะเสสิโลกาสวิสุทธิมากังเอยานิโกธัมมดราสดาริสัตตาวะโหสันติคโรสุจินโนธัมมังวรันตังศิรสานามามิโมหะปัตตาลังอุปสันตดาหังทันเทจะสาเตจยสิริโหตุสาบันดรายาจวินาสเมนตุสาธัมมเสนาสุกตานุโกโยโลกาสภาปุปกิเลสเจตาสันโตสยังสันตินิโยจะโกจะสวากาตธัมมังวิดิตังกโรติสังฆังวรันตังศิรสานามามิพุทธานุพุทธังสมาสิลดิติทันเทจะสาเตจยสิริโหตุสาบันดรายาจาเวนะสเมนตุนะโมอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะมะเหสิโนนะโมพุทธมดัมมาสสวากาตาเสวะเตนิดานะโมมหาสังฆาสาปิวิสุทธสิลติติโนนะโมโอมาทยาราดัสสรตนาทยาสสาลุคังนะโมโอมคาติตาสทัสสวะตุทยาสพินะโมคาราปะภาเวนะวิกัจฉันตุปาตวะนะโมคารานุภาเวนะสวัสติโหตุสัพพะนะโมคาราสเทเจนะวิดิมิโหมิเทจวาเสวนาชบัลลานังบัณฑิตานังจะเสวนาปูจาจะปูจนิยานังเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังปฏิรูปเรสวาโสจะภูเปจะกตปุญญตาอัตตสัมมาปณิดิจาเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังบาหุสัจจันจะสิปัญจเวนโยจะสุสิกิโตสุภาสิตาชยาวาจาเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังมาตาปิตุปาทานังพุทธดาราสสังฆโหนาคุลาชกัมมันตาเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังดานันจะดัมมจริยาจัญญาตกานันจะสังฆโหอนวัจจานิคัมมานิเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังปารติวิยติปาปามาจะปานาจะสัญญโมอัปปมาโดจะดัมเมสุเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังการโมจะนิวาโตจะสันตุติจะกตัญญูตากาเลนะธัมมาสวนังเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังคันติจะโสวชาสตาสมนานันจะตัสนังกาเลนะธัมมสากาจาเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังกโปจะพรหมจริยังจะหริยสั สัจจานุดัสสนังนิพพานัสสัจกิริยาจเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังพุทธัสสะโลกดัมเมหิเชตังยาสลกังปฏิยโสกังวิรจังเขมังเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังเอตาดิสานิกาวานัสสะบาตมปราจิตาสัพพะตโสติงกาจันติตันเตสัมมังกลมุตตมันเตเมตัญชสัพพโลกัสมิงมาลสัมภาวะเยอปริมาณังอุตังอโดจติริยังจะสัมมาดังอเวรังอสภาตังติตังจรังนิสิโนวาสยานโนวายาวตาสวิกตมิโนเอตังสติงอริเทยพระมเมตังวิหารังอิดมาอุดิตินชารุปรังมสีลวาตาสเนนะสัมปาโนกาเมสุเอเนยเกดังนาหิชาตุกะปัสเสยังปุณเรติยังกินชีวิตังเอราภาอุรังวาสาเกสุวายังรัตนังปณิตังนโนสัมมังอาติตตากเตนะอิดัมปิพุเทรัตนังปณิตังเอเทนะสัจเจนะสวัสติโหตุกายังวิรากังกามตังปณิตังยะนาจกาสากยมุนีสัมมาหิโตนะเทนะดัมเมนะสัมมาทิกินจิดัมปิดัมเมรัตนังปณิตังเอเทนะสัจเจนะสวัสติโหตุยังปุตตะเสโตภริวานะยิสุจิงสัมมาริมานันดริกัญญมะหุสัมมารินาเทระสมโมนะวิจติหิดัมปิดัมเมรัตนังปณิตังเอเทนะสัจเจนะสวัสติโหตุเยปุกลาอาตัสสะทังปัสสัตตาชัตตาริเอธานิยุกานิโหติเตนะกิเนยสุกทัสสะสาวกาเอเทสุทินานิมหาปลานิหิดัมปิสังเกรัตนังปณิตังเอเทนะสัจเจนะสวัสติโหตุเยสุปยุตตามนัสสะดาเทนะนิกามิโนโกธรรมสาสนานิเตปาติปาตาอมตังเวกายลาดาบุญาเนบุติงบุญจมานาหิดัมปิสังเกรัตนังปณิตังเอเทนะสัจเจนะสวัสติโหตุขีนังปุรานังนวังนาติสัมภวังวิราทจิตตายติเกภวสมิงเทกินะปิจาวิรุติชันดานิบันติดิรายทายัมปริโภวิดัมปิสังเกรัตนังปณิตังเอเทนะสัจเจนะสวัสติโหตุทุกขาปาตาชนิทุกขาปยาปาตาชนิปยาโสกาปาตาชนิโสกาหนตุสัพเพติปานิโนเอตาวตาจังเอหิสัมปทังบุญญาสัมปทังสัพเพเทวานุโมดันตุสัพพสัมปทิสิทิยาทานังดารันตุสัทธายสีลังรักขันตุสัพพะภาวนาวิรตาหนตุกาจันตุเดวตากตาสัพเพบุทธาปะรามาตาปัจเจกานันจยังบาลังอรหันตานันจเตเจนะราคังบันดานิสัพพโสอาการุณิโกนาโทอิกายสัพพะ ya mure sakyanam nandivadano evam dravang vijayo ho hijaya sujaya mangale aparajita palange sise padavi bhokare abhiseke sababhutanang agapato pamodati sunakatang sumangalang supapatang suhutitang sukano sumohuto chasuyitang brahmachari supadakinang kaya kamang vaca kamang vadakinang mano kamang vanidite padakinang nikatwaramantate padakine bhavatu sabbamangalang rakantu sabbadevata sabbabhutanubhavena sada soti bhavantu te bhavatu sabbamangalang rakantu sabbadevata sabbadhammanubhavena sada soti bhavantu te bhavatu sabbamangalang rakantu sabbadevata sabbasanghanu bhavena sada soti bhavantu te.
Got quite a community here. So now having done our Paritta Chanting, Suat Mon Prap Parit Rip Roy Lao. There's a Kathina ceremony announcement. This is the origin story of the Kathina. And every year we've started out with this announcement in some way, shape, or form. And unfortunately, we don't have it in Thai, but I think most people will be able to understand it who are here today. And it concerns some bhikkhus who were Dutanga Kamatana bhikkhu, 30 of them, and they wanted to spend the pansa with the Buddha, but weren't able to make it to where he was in time. So this is, in the past, when we think of like Luang Man, then you had to seek him out. You couldn't just turn on YouTube and get a Luang Man talk on YouTube. You'd actually walk, the Tudong monks actually had to walk and search for him and find him. And there was times when they would get to a village and they'd say, "Oh, you just missed him. He was here a week ago. We don't know where he went." And they'd have to track him and just track him down just to get some teachings. And Luang Por Cha had to do the same thing when he was seeking out Luang Pu Man. So, but now you can just turn on YouTube and choose your favorite Ajahn and watch them, and it's much easier. So there's something though to be said for actually putting forth the effort to see someone in person, and actually all of you having put forth the effort to come here in person. So it's like these monks who, in this story, they go to see the Buddha. Something about setting up the conditions to be able to hear the Dhamma, because sometimes sitting down in our favorite lazy boy chair and holding the phone up to our face and turning on YouTube to our favorite Ajahn, we haven't yet set up the conditions to actually internalize those teachings that they might be giving. They might be really good teachings, but we might not quite be in the state to put them into practice. Whereas if we put forth some effort beforehand, like all of you having come out here and helped set up and done these beautiful arrangements, and it's been a team effort in the whole monastic community here, and everybody cleaning the monastery and helping to set things up, then it sets up the conditions for something to happen, for an energy to take place. So, sadhu, very wonderful that this is happening. And I will read out this Kathina origin story, and at the end of this, then, after I read this, then our two formal Kathina recipient bhikkhus will then ascend the Kathina recipient seats at the end of this. Before the Kathina ceremony begins, we would like to take this opportunity to explain a little about its origins as a Buddhist custom. The offering of Kathina cloth by the laity to the Bhikkhu Sangha is a tradition which has been carried on since the time of the Lord Buddha, more than 2,500 years ago. It was established as a ceremonial act to celebrate both the relationship between the laity and the Sangha and the spirit of concord within the Sangha itself. It was first allowed by the Lord Buddha to a group of 30 monks who were observers of many of the austere practices. They had wished to spend the 3 months' rains retreat with him, but having been unable to reach the monastery where he was staying in time, had to spend the rains nearby. They regretted their missed opportunity, thinking, "The Lord is staying close to us, but we are not getting a chance to see him." Nevertheless, they passed the 3 months harmoniously together and, as soon as they could, despite inhospitable roads and continuing rain, with drenched robes and in a state of weariness, they made their way to Savatthi to see him. Perhaps by way of encouragement and to reward their noble efforts, it was after receiving them that the Kathina ceremony and its privileges were established by the Buddha. The Lord Buddha laid down many stipulations in order to make the offering of this cloth and the sewing of it into a robe an act of great importance to both the laity and the Sangha. It is an offering that can be made only once a year at any one monastery, and only where 5 or more bhikkhus have spent their rains retreat together. The cloth must be clean, freely given, and its donation must not have been instigated by the monastic community in any way. Once it has been offered to the Bhikkhu Sangha, it must be cut and sewn into a completely finished robe during the course of that same day. Customarily, all the bhikkhus of that monastery participate in the sewing of the robe. In this way, it becomes an act affirming the harmonious and communal nature of the Sangha. Once it has been sewn, it is then offered to one bhikkhu decided upon by the Sangha as being worthy of the gift. For the laity, the Kathina offering is a symbolic expression of their faith in the Sangha and a reaffirmation of their eagerness to cooperate harmoniously together in order to provide for its material needs. According to the Lord Buddha, the Kathina cloth is the most meritorious of all material gifts that can be made to a Sangha, bringing superlative benefits to those who have offered it. The Sangha and the laity are now all assembled. If there is to be a Kathina ceremony, then this is now the time for it to begin. We'll invite our bhikkhus to come up. So once these bhikkhus take their seats, then and once they're established there, then we'll invite the lay people to read out the Kathina Sangatana, and that'll be followed by the offering of the cloth. So please, we'll invite the lay people now to do the Kathina Sangatana chant. these two representatives of the Sangha will be receiving it on this extra long receiving cloth. And how that's organized.
So I would like to invite the family come up here to offer the cloth.
Lift a little bit and sit down. You need to stand. Need somebody else to come up.
Oh, that's a good way.
Each time we see it.
Yeah, that's a good way.
So next, I would like to invite you to Vidai group come up here, please. And next, may I invite Kun Prisan, will you come up here? And then finally, I would like to invite Kun Chitima, Dr. Ju, Kun Yin, Paisipa, come up here, please.
about heart level. Two representative of the Sangha will now formally dedicate and determine this Kathina offering. So,
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. This Kathina cloth and all the offerings present here belong to Kun Jitama Pangsapa, Dr. Jung, Sa, and Nim Pangsapa, Aung Sok Lee and family, Peggy Treesand and friends, Samorn Usarum and Namkang Puangkrase Doran, Wipawari, Suk Chalern Sap and Tirachat, Sangsuradet, Anchali Karun and friends of Temple Forest Monastery, Sisak and Yaowalak Watana Sombat, and all the faithful and generous laypeople who have gathered together for this occasion. This offering is being made to the Sangha which has spent the 3 months rains retreat in this monastery. This Kathina cloth has come in as pure and unsolicited a way as if it had been wafted here on a breeze, and settled in the midst of this assembly without favoring anyone in particular. However, the Lord Buddha has made a provision whereby the Sangha can agree to choose which among them they would like to receive the cloth. This person must be one who knows the rules and observances concerning the Kathina ceremony, according to the terms laid down by the Lord Buddha, and must be one who can recite the aims and purposes of the Lord Buddha's teachings. They should be pure in moral conduct and have the mindfulness and wisdom to be able to understand the Dhamma in all its facets. This, then, is one who can fulfill all of the Lord Buddha's stipulations concerning the offering of the Kathina. So the assembly of bhikkhus must come to a unanimous decision as to which of them is best suited to receive the Kathina cloth.
This Kathina cloth and all these offerings have been considered suitable for Chunda Bhikkhu. He is a bhikkhu of mindfulness and wisdom and can perform the Kathina ceremony correctly according to the way established by the Lord Buddha. If any bhikkhu here disagrees, then he should raise his objections now in the midst of this assembly. If everyone here agrees, they should express their agreement by saying sadhu in unison. Sadhu.
To give the Kathina Anumodana.
Okay, so I will lead the Sangha in the formal Anumodana for this Kathina ceremony. Of course, it has it's gone on for a long time, and it's been very successful, and Kathina, by its very design, the way that the Buddha set it up, is that it of course, it is initiated by the lay community, and it requires a sense of the community coming together harmoniously, helping each other out in order to for the ceremony to take place. Requires the monastic community to work together harmoniously to receive the lay people, and that is something. All of that has taken place in this last week, since the November 2nd, Tuesday, when we started having the ceremony, ceremonies each day, so that it's a pandemic Kathina, each day with about 30 people, and so it's required, and we've relied on so many people coming and supporting it and helping out, and the lay community, lay people living in the monastery, the Sangha members here, everybody helping out. So it's something to Anumodana literally means to delight in the goodness that has been done, so that this is this Anumodana is an expression of delight for the goodness that has been done by so many people. Yatha varivaha pula palipulenti sakarang evameva totinang petanang upakapati ecetang matitang tumhang hipameva samichato sape porendu sangapa Janho panara soyadha mani chotira soyadha
Kira kira ye tata anubodanti vaya vacham karonti va na tena rakina honna deki punya sabakino tasmadane apakiwana citto yata dinang mahapalang punyani paraloka saming parika honti paninanti Bhavatu sapa mangalang Rakantu sapa devata Sapa luddha nubhavena sarasoti bhavantu te Bhavatu sapa mangalang Rakantu sapa devata Sapa dhamma nubhavena sarasoti bhavantu te Bhavatu sapa mangalang rakantu sapa devata Sapa sangha nubhavena sarasoti bhavantu te.
Sadhu. Okay, before the Dhamma talks, we're going to have a short break. Then we'll come back for Dhamma talk in Thai, Dhamma talk in English. Any suggestion as to which first? They're pointing at each other. It's very humble. See, out in the world, it'd be like, well, I should give the talk first because mine's going to be better. But here it's like, no, he gives the talk first. So yeah, we'll have a short break and come back.